All right.
Yeah, this is what happens when we have time. Waiting for cameras waiting for streams to kick in.
I think we are good.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think we need to give it just a minute. Negative. How is it negative elapsed time? It's buffering.
I think this is.
See, there's a little bit of a delay here.
Yeah. So, Nick, you want to tell them what we're doing today?
Yeah, we're going to open a whole case of Core Set 2019. I'm going to turn that off. And then we're going to have all of these singles available for purchase this afternoon and through the weekend.
And who are we?
I'm Nick Jones, and you are
Tyler Blankenship.
Here for the color commentary.
Yeah. Here for my knowledge of magic.
Yeah.
And all things Core 2019.
Alright, so we're going to get going. Hopefully we can knock this all out in under an hour here. Ooh, foil cancel, that's kind of nice. Prodigious growth.
Yep, we'll be talking about some of the cards as we go through.
Primarily showing some extra stuff over here too.
Are there any cards that you're particularly excited for, Nick? Did you,
you know, there wasn't anything that really stuck out to me in the pre-release. I mean, the Elder Dragons are all pretty awesome. There's no real doubt about that. But
Correct.
At the midnight release, I think it was Molly had one of the dragon that like destroyed permanents.
I think it's Invictus.
Yeah. Ooh, that's kind of neat. Submerged Boneyard. And she also had Sarkin. Had the dragon out on like turn 4 against me and just obliterated me. So that was fun.
People are talking about how that Sarkon is as bad as Tybalt, but I don't think he is that bad.
I don't think he's as bad as everybody's saying at all.
He's kind of like a 3-mana mana rock in the dragon deck.
Oh, for sure.
It's pretty good. You got a couple cool rares here. Remorseful Cleric is pretty cool. 2 on Fire is pretty powerful for just having a decent card on curve, and that ability to exile the graveyard can sometimes be really good. I had Goreclaw in my sealed pack.
Yeah.
3 and a green creature. Giving all your stuff trample and +1/+1 is good. So I'd always play that card.
Goreclaw.
Yeah.
You know, I opened him in one of the pre-releases. Yay, foil land! And I was actually... I read him and I'm like, I really want to play this card. And then it just ended up that I didn't have anything good in color to play with him. And it was atrocious. It was not good, that's for sure. So, Hungering Hydra. A lot of green stuff to start off here.
Yeah. I do think that the green color in this set is pretty decent. There's a bunch of good commons. Not a lot of good removal in green, I don't think.
No, you really got to pair it with something.
Yeah. So for draft, that can be an interesting challenge, but interesting to say the least. It is a core set though, so we got a lot of these cool specific sideboard cards for like modern and standard. It looks like we got an Alpine Moon right there.
Yeah.
Good Tron hate. You opened the Linean Arbiter. That's actually kind of a cool callback, throwback card. If you remember Hero Bladehold. Linean Arbiter is, I don't want to say better than Hero Bladehold, but that extra power is nice, and the lifelink on the token is powerful.
He did some really good work for me in one of the pre-releases. He's just a beast. Yeah. A 4/4 for 4 that has an ability that creates lifelinkers?
Yeah.
That's pretty solid. I love that Switcheroo got reprinted too. That's just a hilarious card.
I saw some people trying to play that in the draft the other day. It seems like a good card, even though it's card disadvantage.
Yeah.
You still trade the quality of your creatures, which can be pretty powerful in limited format.
Hey, you know, if you have a really bad pool, you play all the Switcheroos you can get so you can play somebody else's deck.
Yeah, that's true. That's what Blue's known for.
There we go. There's a good card.
So you open
no doubt about that.
Yeah, that's sweet. that's one of those reprints we were talking about.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So I think there's a total of 16 mythics in the set. I think
Sounds
there's
right.
5 dragons, and then there's a monocolor mythic in each color, and there's 2 monocolor mythics in each color, and then Crucible Worlds.
Ooh.
So that makes 16. Omniscience is a powerful one. It'd be cool if that card sees any standard play. Looks like you open Sigiled Sword of Valerian.
Yeah.
Yeah, that card wrecked me in the
Really?
sealed event. Yeah, that card seems like a bomb if you have any creatures at all. I also kept a really bad hand with just that sword and 6 lands, hoping to draw creatures. And I got wrecked, because I drew 1 creature and my opponent killed it. So it can be good, but it can be bad.
I looked at it and I thought it was a solid card, and then... Because I actually opened one of these as my pre-release promo, which was kind of interesting. Oh, that's a double. We got a foil.
You got a foil rare and a
miscolor. So I opened it and it just... The mana cost seemed like it was just off by like 1 before it would really work well in the deck that I was building at that time. So I skipped on it, and all day, like between every round, I kept going back and looking at it and be like, is this good in my deck? I don't know. But I just never dropped it in there. So I kind of wish I would have played it just to see what it was like. But
yeah, I think in sealed, you're always going to get this situation where the mythic cards are a lot more powerful than the rare cards, at least in this format.
Oh yeah.
So you're going to sometimes see those bomb dragons that are tough to deal with, tough to kill, because there's not a lot of good removal that can kill them.
There we go, foil regular. Well, there's a foil dwindle and another sword.
So I think in terms of uncommons for this set, there's a couple to look out for. I think Reliquary Tower is the most expensive.
I don't know why I've been looking for those.
And then there's a couple other uncommons that see play in other formats, like a Johnny's Pridemate. I don't know if they're super valuable, but they're
good cards,
they can be good cards in the right deck.
Well, we're 2/3 of the way through the first box here.
How many boxes did you say we had today, Nick?
6.
6, that's a full case that we're opening for Titan Games today.
So this Angel of the Dawn doesn't seem that good, but it did pretty good work for me at a pre-release too. That's another limited card that might do really well.
Oh, so I remember this Phylactery Lich from another core set, I think, and I tried to draft it, and it is not as good as you think. Oh,
there's a card to discuss right there.
Yeah, you got a Resplendent Angel, 3 mana, 3/3 flyer that can make angels whenever you gain 5 at the beginning of the set. If you gain 5 more life, it's pretty good that you can trigger it too. When I first read that card, I thought that it pumped all your creatures and gave them lifelink.
Oh no!
6 mana. This is a little bit worse than what I initially thought, but it's still a fantastic card.
Open another Sigiled Sword of Valerian.
Seems like
So you know what's a really fun trick? You put something on that gives it +2/+2.
Yep. That'll do it. You still need to give it lifelink, but but it can do that itself, so that's pretty sweet. We got a couple zombie synergy cards in this set. I think. The biggest one is we haven't seen it yet, but it's a 2 mana rare, double black, and it's like a 3/2, and it says you can pay some amount of mana, and I think exile a card from your graveyard, make it 2/2. Is that accurate?
I believe so.
That's kind of cool. Maybe zombies will see some more stuff in standard. I just noticed you got an Open the Graves, which makes zombies. So that could be a potentially powerful card in standard if there's a lot of wrath effects. And that deck seems to be good.
Another fun little Alpine Moon here.
Cool card. You need a couple of them if you want to make sure that Tron doesn't do their thing.
Yep.
So it's funny that they keep printing all these enchantment spells that hate on Tron.
Yep.
But Tron's already decent at destroying your enchantments. So it's kind of interesting that they're not maybe diversifying the.
They're not making other ways to break it down.
Yeah.
And it may be that they're a little afraid that they just make something that Tron can't deal with and just kill the deck.
If they cared about killing the deck, they could do it. They wouldn't need to print hate for it. But
that's true.
That is interesting.
We're almost through the first box here. Just a couple packs left.
Yep, and I think our 2 mythics from that, or 1 mythic from that was Omniscience. Did we get 2?
Yeah, I think there was some other...
Oh, Resplendent Angel and Omniscience. Yep. Those were the 2 that I remember.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Weird boxes so far.
So a lot of the rares in this
set there we go.
Are...
there's something fun.
Not very expensive. Oh, you actually opened our first Elder Dragon.
Yep.
Wonderful.
There he is.
I think that's the one you were talking about earlier, that Chaos Warp's a permanent.
Yep.
Actually, every player is permanent.
Yeah. You choose one for each player in the game, so
you even get yours. I think that out of all the Elder Dragons, that one is probably one of the best by itself.
Oh yeah,
just he's commander.
He's a solid commander card for sure. But I don't know. I think he'd be an interesting play as well. Mm-hmm. Just. I'm curious to see if he'll find a home in Standard as a 6-cost 6/6. I don't know.
All right, so that's the end of our first box, right?
1. Yep. Do a little cleanup here. And get on to number 2.
I think our goal is to get this knocked out in an hour. Is that correct, Nick?
That is the goal. I don't know how we're actually doing on that, though. We'll see. Isolate.
That's a cool card. Could be good in Modern. Isolate is a 1-mana white instant that exiles target permanent with converted mana cost of 1.
Yeah, I feel like that's a card that was designed to not be played in Standard.
Yeah. They deliberately do not print good 1-drops anymore. I guess it's good at killing Llanowar Elves, if that becomes a popular card in Standard. They could also print Lightning Bolt, and it would be good at killing Llanowar Elves. I'm a proponent of that. But
I feel like just paying a card to kill a Llanowar Elf, while in situations may be good, is not consistent enough.
Nick, if there's one thing I've learned is that you always bolt the bird, and I'd be happy isolating it as well.
Always bolt the bird.
So that's a cool card, Mystic Archaeologist. It doesn't look like much. It's a 2-mana, 2/1 that you pay 5 and draw 2 cards. But in the past, there was, I think, Azure Mage, which got play, and these control mirrors, which was a 2-mana, 2/1, pay 4 mana, draw 1 card. So I know Magic's come a long way since then, but Mystic Archaeologist could be good in the right standard format. We've seen cards similar to it in the past.
Paying 1 extra mana to get 1 extra card. Usually that's a pretty solid bet.
Yeah. Ooh, Goblin Trash Master. When I saw that card, I think I laughed for just 5 minutes because it embodies like everything that goblins do to me.
Oh yeah.
They live in junkyards, they destroy artifacts, and they pump each other. Whatever.
There's the man, baddest man in Magic.
Nicol Bolas. I think Nicol Bolas is probably don't quote me on this. I know everybody has a different opinion, but it's probably one of the most anticipated cards from the set, just because everybody loves that character.
I think he's one of those characters in Magic that when the card's announced, people are excited about him being back in Magic. Yeah. You know. So she's also really good.
2 mythics in a row.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. So yeah, back to the mythic count. I think we were talking about there's 16 mythics. 1 planeswalker in each monocolor, and then 1 monocolored card, and then the Elder Dragons, the 5 Elder Dragons, which are all multicolor, and then Priest Lord.
Yep.
Vivian Reed, I think people are like poo-pooing that card, and I think she's a lot better than people think.
I would agree with that completely. I did play her in a sealed set, and she did really good work for me. I know it's sealed, and there's a lot of ways to deal with her, but
even if she's just 5 mana plummet in limited, she's going to be good. In maybe constructed, she's got a lot of card advantage.
So I like that she brings back abilities very similar to what Fraley's had as a Planeswalker too, which is something I have a Fraley's deck that I enjoy playing, and she just keeps it interesting.
I personally like that they picked a different Planeswalker character than we've had in the past for green. It's not Nissa, it's not Garrett, so we get a little bit of variety there. So you did open Graveyard Marshal.
In foil.
In foil. What a beautiful card. His face is ugly, but his art is beautiful. And he does exactly what we said. You exile a creature from your graveyard, pay 3 mana, and make a 2/2 black zombie. Could be a huge role player in Standard. I've seen some zombie deck lists already being posted that look pretty good.
Well, with the Liliana coming back, a good Liliana that has to have zombies with her to be really worthwhile.
I think a lot of people are talking about the old Liliana from Amonkhet being a little bit better in that deck. Speaking of cool cards that have nice art, you opened a Patient Rebuilding.
Yeah.
So that's what I've heard. I've heard people go back and forth on that card, whether it's good in draft, good in Standard, good in Commander. If you draw 3 cards off that, when you mill them, it's nuts.
Oh,
but
yeah.
if you draw 0 cards, then it's kind of meh. It's one of the most swingy cards I've seen printed in a while, but it also has beautiful art. They have a set of those.
I will say that card wrecked me in a game this weekend.
I think those are probably the most beautiful foils in the set. The whole set. I think with Nicol Bolas on the front, the big expensive cards with Nicol Bolas on them. Ooh, Chaos Bond. I'm a big fan of those cards in Commander. Colorless answers to creatures.
Oh yeah.
Or sorry, Chaos Bond is actually a different card. I thought that was the one that turned into a 2/4 Ox, but that's not it.
The 2/4 Ox card I think is hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think we've opened one yet.
No, because you can use it to destroy your own stuff and get 2/4s that are just powerhouse blockers, or you can get rid of threats with it and turn them into things you can deal with later.
There's another Vivian Reed. Right now, we also have Nissa in the set too. Looks like you opened Tezzeret.
Tezzy.
What's interesting is that he's technically a tribal planeswalker, right? Tribal artifact. That counts. Artifacts is a line of text that can be on a card.
That is true.
Consider does with them quite well.
Another Trashmaster.
Sweet. I think Goblin Trashmaster as a 4-drop seems a little expensive, but if you ever destroy one artifact with them, it's worth it.
Yep.
And even just as a 4-mana answer to a powerful artifact that they play, in Commanders, it's really good. They play their Paradox Engine, you have your Goblin Trashmaster out.
There's the one you were thinking of.
That is it, Transmogrify.
Foil. Isolate.
I think we've been opening a lot of foils.
We have been.
Yeah, I haven't been counting.
Well, I made sure I picked the foil case out of the group.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is I don't know if that was our 4th Planeswalker in one box. I think that was our 3rd.
It was at least the 3rd.
Yeah. But that's still a lot.
Yeah, I found a Reliquary Tower.
Wonderful. That's the first one.
That's the first one I've seen. I wasn't checking in the first couple packs, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so for those who don't normally watch us, we pick a uncommon that people seem to be excited about. We normally try to do a count of how many of those we can get. Because it seems like certain uncommons are more difficult to find in certain sets. Like Fatal Push was ridiculous.
There's a second pack in a row.
Oh my goodness. It's our lucky day. This is a fantastic box.
But yes, I screwed that up this time. And am making up for it now.
I'm sure the boxes will lessen. There's also
Detection Tower.
Reclamation Sage in this set, which is a sweet reprint.
We've opened a bunch of those.
Yeah. They were never very expensive, but they are a powerful card. One of those cards that you'll see a lot in Limited, even though it's under power in terms of power and toughness for mana cost, it's powerful at killing enchantments.
It's fantastic in Commander, too, if you run an Elf Tribal.
Yeah, well, it's always great in Commander.
But yeah.
Normally people have something to kill with it. You still get a 2-1. Let's see, what's that rare? That's a
Vivian's
interesting
Invocation. Let's clean this up a little bit here. So, yep.
Yeah, some of the big green spells I've seen they don't look playable, like Vivian's Invocation, or the one with the giant ant on the front that costs like 6 mana and gives your creature +6/+6 and trample.
Yep.
It seems like a weird thing to make a rare, but at the same time, sometimes it's fantastic. Sometimes Vivian's Invocation puts your, Colossal Dreadmaw into play and then kills a creature, which seems good. Oh, that's an interesting card you just opened.
Desecrated Tomb. Yeah.
So that card reminds me a lot of Bitter Blossom.
Okay.
It makes a 1/1 flyer every turn. And one thing I haven't seen people talk about is that we still have Scrapheap Scrounger in Standard, which is colorless. I mean, I know it costs black to activate, but if you can actively get that Scrapheap Scrounger back every turn, then trigger the Desecrated Tomb, it seems like a powerful engine. Another cool card, Liliana's Contract. That card is perfectly playable by itself. 5 mana in Commander, 5 mana to draw 4 cards is a pretty decent rate. And with that extra win the game clause on it, it seems pretty easy to achieve. And in Standard, we actually have a version of Conspiracy, and I think it's Arcane Adaptation.
Yep.
So sometimes you can just cheat and win the game after you've drawn 4 cards. It seems like a cool card to me. But I also love the swamps a lot. Black decks are my favorite to play, so I'm a little biased.
Yeah. That actually might find a way into my Demons and Dragons deck.
Cool. Are there any new legendary creatures that you've seen in this set that you want to build a commander deck with?
Not really. I was gonna say this Meteor Golem did some interesting work. Pre-release too. It's 6 cost 3/3 that kills the thing.
Vindicate.
Yep.
I think it's destroy non-land permanent. Or actually, it can even hit lands. It's just destroy permanent.
Yep. It does pretty good work. That's box 2.
It's box 2. We're making great time, Nick. That was a 10-minute box opening.
From time to time, I do amazing things.
You've got skills.
But yeah. Let's see if we can get through another one in 10 minutes. Whoa! Sorry, hitting the playmat here. Now we hit all the hard packs to open. Alpine Moon. I also am really glad that they brought back Rupture Spire for limited.
Really?
I think it in a set that doesn't have nearly as much consistency as we've had lately in terms of being able to really push a tribal theme or really push 2 colors hard. It gives you a much better option in terms of splashing for a color, or it just gives you a lot more options.
And just for people who don't know, Rupture Spire is the enters the battlefield. You have to sack it unless you pay a colorless mana, right?
Pay 1,
and then it taps for
and then taps for any color after that. So
I do think that lands like that make it a lot easier to splash. They have Mana Lith in 2019 as well, which I found to be pretty sweet.
Yep.
I think Gift of Paradise is the green enchantment that costs 3 that does that.
I think that also gives you 3 life when it comes
does.
in too.
But I just think having all those 3 mana ways and free ways with the land to fix your colors, it does make for a good format. There's a couple older formats, or I think one of the Modern Masters formats was really awesome because they had all the signets and you could pretty much fix your mana.
I'm gonna play 5 colors now.
Yeah, I think it had all the guild gates too, and that one I think it reminds. I remember that one being very fun. So anytime you can play a bunch of colors, pretty much make a lot of decisions in the draft.
Demon of Catastrophes.
That's a cool demon. We've seen this trend of wizards turning 4 mana 6/6 demons.
Yep.
With these drawbacks, and sometimes they're really good, and sometimes they're not. So we'll have to see if sacrificing a creature is good enough or not bad enough.
I think limited play, it's really good. Whether or not it finds somewhere to play in Standard, I don't know.
That thing definitely ends the game quickly.
There we go, another one.
Man. So Sarkhan's Unsealing is a cool card that you opened a couple packs ago.
Yeah.
Does a lot. It has a lot of text on it. But what it essentially says is if you cast a creature with power greater than 4, not necessarily greater than 4, 4, 5, or 6, deal some damage to any target. So you get essentially add on a like it's not a lightning bolt better than that.
Yeah.
But to any creature that you cast that has power 4, 5, or 6, which is mostly dragon, which seems good. Oh, there you go.
Chromium.
Chromium. That's another Elder Dragon. Card is interesting. I think it's powerful, but it is also got a lot of play to it. You got to make a bunch of decisions. And there's another Nicobolas.
So, Chromium. I don't know why this just got in my head, but the other day there was an animation that was available on Wizards' website for retailers to download and use as an advertisement. And it was basically Chromium like walking up and standing up on his hind legs. I'm like, alright, that's just cool. They did a really good job with it, and it makes Chromium look super awesome.
Sweet.
Regardless of what his card actually says.
Yeah, I will admit that some of the dragons in like their card art do not look very dragon-like.
No.
They're like very thin, or sometimes they're in awkward positions. So I can understand that sentiment.
Like, Nico Bolas is clearly a dragon. Flying around, big wings, huge tail, claws. Chromium's just standing there, looking all angry like or something.
You opened a Gigantosaur. I think that's the first one we've seen of that.
Yeah.
He has a big booty.
One might say it's almost gigantic.
Some would say it's the biggest. Yeah, 5 mana for 10, for 20 power and toughness total is a lot of stat. You open Apex of Power. That's a cool mythic. One of the only in that whole set that I was talking about.
Yeah.
The 3 colors. I mean, it's got some green in the background. It's got blue in the middle, black. So there is Elvish.
Set to bolster some of the tribes that maybe weren't getting as much standard play as they wanted to.
Even Spirits. Spirits got a 2-mana Lord. That's awesome. One thing to keep in mind, that Elvish clan color, it was brought to my attention the other day. It's a 1/1. So if you have a bunch of 1/1 elves out already, and you play that, and then in standard they like cast Goblin Chain Whirler or that Plague Mirror thing that's similar to Goblin Chain Whirler, all your stuff's going to die if it has 1 toughness.
Yep.
So there's some interesting play to that, having 1 power and 1 toughness as opposed to being like a 2.
Still gets hit by Whirler, yeah.
But it's going to happen.
Them's the breaks, kid.
Hungering Hydra. I think it's odd they put a Hydra in the set.
It was a little weird.
Yeah, when somebody said that was in the set during the pre-release, I didn't believe them. I didn't see that card. Nobody talked about it. That's a cool card, Gin of Wishes. It's a reprint, I think.
I thought that was a hilarious card to put in here.
I think I had a conversation with you, like, whether I should put that in my commander deck or not. And I don't think I did, but it ends up being great and limited. 5 mana, 4/4 flyers are always great.
And it's got an ability that lets you get other cards, so it gives you a little bit of card advantage. It's not what I would call efficient card advantage by any means, but it's still card advantage.
No, it's a thing you can do. We call those mana sinks.
Another Lich.
I do wonder if M19 is Electro Lich's time to shine. I don't think it was ever played in an actual standard deck that did well, but it can't. I mean, Indestructible 5/5 is good. Oh, speaking of tribal synergies, we were just mentioning those. Death Baron.
Yeah.
Another one. I think, what is that? Like, there's over 5 or 6 tribal cards in standard right now that, or creatures that pump your other creatures based upon their types.
Those lords, yeah.
Yeah, I've always been interested in Death Baron because it says skeletons and zombies.
It's not a single,
Yeah, like, where do they draw the line? Like, is a skeleton not a zombie?
It's either when you're undead, there are no lines.
Right? I don't know. Maybe they don't need to draw the line. Maybe they're distinct enough. Magistrate's Scepter is I don't know if I should call that a cool card or not. I've never really been interested in that card, but it was never legal in Modern until this set. It's a reprint, but it was never legal in Modern. So that could be cool for some people that want to try that out. Artifacts can sometimes be broken even if they're expensive.
We're almost through the 3rd box here now.
So that's marked the halfway point, right, Nick?
Yep, that is correct. A lot of neat foils, just uncommon and common stuff. Reliquary Tower's up to 5 now.
Wonderful. I never put Reliquary Towers in my commander deck because didn't really care to. I don't draw a lot of cards in my commander decks, even though I know that's one of the best things you can do.
Yeah.
I never draw more than 7 cards.
I think the only one I run it in is my Athreos deck.
Yeah.
And it's primarily so if people keep putting stuff back in my hand, I don't have to discard it. I can keep extorting you out.
So you got another double rare pack.
Yeah.
And
Armasaur.
You got a Runic Armasaur. Yeah, that card seems good. Wizards has this like theme right now, putting 3-mana green creatures that draw you cards and that are efficient. Like 3 mana 2/5 is so much. Blocks a lot. That almost seems similar to Sorcerer Crucifix, right? 3 mana, 2/4. They do very different things, don't get me wrong, but they both essentially provide card advantage.
Doesn't matter what you're talking about. We're going to talk about this.
You got the Liliana. That's, I think, our first one. Liliana Untouched by Death. People are kind of like talking about that card in a negative light. They don't really think it looks good. I think in Commander, in a zombie deck, it's exactly what you want.
Oh, you have to have zombies to play that card, for sure. That's another one that I got as a pre-release card, and the rest of my pool had, I think, 2 zombies in it, so she didn't get played. But
you know, one of the other mythics from this set is Bone Dragon.
Oh, excuse me. We'll be right back.
We're gonna take a 30-second break real fast. But yeah, one of the mythics from this set is Bone Dragon, and while people are saying that that card might not be as good as it looks, I think it's a fantastic card. It can come back, I think, from the graveyard if you exile 7 cards. So that means you have to have it in the graveyard plus 7 more. Seems like a lot, but at the same time, dredging 6 or 7 cards, delving 6 or 7 cards in Modern is a thing that happens all the time. So I don't really think that's a negative. Granted, I know they're different mechanics.
I think this is a pretty good way to start out the pack, or the box with a Crucible.
Yeah, so you open that Liliana, and then right after that, in a different box, you open the Crucible. That's awesome.
I'll take that as back-to-backs.
So, I don't know if this was done on purpose by Wizards, but we have Crucible of Worlds now, and we also have Ramunap Excavator.
Yeah.
The Crucible Worlds on a stick, which hasn't really seen much play. But maybe they're both in the same standard format. We might be able to do something with them, right? There's
trying to tell us something.
Yeah, maybe they want us to play lands from the graveyard.
Maybe Dredge.
Well, I don't think Dredge is coming back. I think that's crazy. To each his own, Nick. But
no, I'm pretty sure they won't bring that mechanic back at all.
I mean, they have cycling lands right now. So you cycle a land, play it. They have
play it out of the graveyard.
Yep. They have that other card that blows up non-basics, which you can play from the graveyard. So there's some synergies there. There's your Fraying Omnipotence, the one that I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
I think that is probably in contention for best foil in the set.
I can see that with all the, again, black, red, blues.
Yeah. I saw a couple of those different arts, different card arts at pre-release, and they look really good. There is a slight dragon sub-theme in this set. I know there's a bunch of mythic dragons, but
there's a few other good ones too, though.
You open Lapis, Dragon Queen, which is another legendary dragon. It's not an Elder Dragon. And then Sarkhan. We were talking about him a little bit earlier. He makes mana. You can only spend it on dragons. So it's a little interesting that they didn't sell this as a tribal set, but they put so many tribal synergies in the set.
For sure. Again, I think they just put in a lot of pieces that help those synergies that already existed. So
Embroidery is dragon, so maybe there's something there.
He is.
Getting into that could be good. You open Cleansing Nova. That's a cool card. Probably will take over for Fumigate when that rotates. Fumigate has been great. The life gain on Fumigate has been super important against specifically red decks.
True.
But Cleansing Nova can get rid of artifacts and enchantments, so I think that could have some added value there.
There's the other Lieutenant that's kind of interesting.
You know, I don't know how I feel about Thorn Lieutenant. It does everything you want in a 2-drop, right? It is a decent creature. It's a 2/3. Doesn't really attack very well, but if they try to kill it, it makes 1/1, so it replaces itself, which is sweet. And if you pump it for 6 mana, I think, it becomes a pretty potent threat.
Oh yeah.
So decent like rock type creature. Another Mistcaller. Mistcaller is one of those like new cards that could be really good in Merfolk, in Modern, or as like a sideboard card if you're playing against a lot of Reanimator decks or Through the Breach decks or Gyrios Vinge. I guess I'm talking about the same deck. Now that I think about it.
It's good against all of the same deck.
It's good against decks that play the same cards, yeah. You opened a Resplendent Angel.
Angel's back.
I'll be super surprised if that card sees any play in Standard, because once again, they can Lightning Strike in this set. So
she dies.
She just dies right to it, but if they don't kill it and you make an Angel, that's a lot of value for not a lot of investment. Another Reliquary Tower, another Remorseless Cleric.
Maybe it's just me, but I'm one of those people, I would play Resplendent Angel, if I can talk. Just because I'm one of those people, I'm going to play it, because either you're going to have a way to get rid of her, or you're not, and it's going to do real good work for me.
I think Angels are the only tribe that is present, but not like tribal supported. I mean, even Demons got that Liliana's Contract thing, which is technically a tribal card for Demons. I heard somewhere the other that it could also be a tribal changeling card, because your changelings or your shapeshifters all count as demons, which is a cool thought there.
Well, changelings count as all creatures type.
That's true. That is true.
This guy?
Oh my god, Bog Stomper. Don't talk
I
about
just
that.
think it's hilarious.
I would rather be stomping Terra. I think that the names...
I think everybody would. But Bog Stomper is just kind of hilarious.
I think that the names on some of these cards are just so silly. Like it's like...
Dude, it's the flavor text on this card. They're gentle herbivores is how it starts out.
Yeah, I feel like some of the names, though, they have like a random generator, and they just kind of like push a button, and they got Bog Stomper this time. And,
like, what can a Bog Stomper be?
Nobody's going to notice that we used the same card in the last set. Same name. Are there any cards that we haven't opened yet that you're really looking for? I think we probably opened one of everything.
I think so. Foil.
I mean, there's some mythics I know we haven't gotten yet, but...
Yeah.
Ooh, that's interesting. You got a foil.
This is always... I think it's hilarious that Thud is in as well.
Yeah, Thud, they took Fling, they reduced its mana cost by 1 and made it sorcery speed, and it's probably a lot worse than Fling.
But it's still present in Standard for another 2 years, basically. I am sorry, I'm having way more trouble with these packs than I should be. There's that Hydra you've been looking for.
I haven't been looking for it, but
you found it.
I've heard a lot of things about it, yeah. It seems like they always want to have like an X green creature or something. I remember in Standard we had Endless 1, which was just X. And it got X1 when counters equal to it.
Yeah.
And it didn't see any play at all. So, whenever I see those cards, I'm kind of skeptical. Like, even when the most efficient version of the card is in Standard, does see play? I mean, Walking Bliss is a fantastic card, but it's got utility. And it costs twice that much. That added utility really does make all the difference. So there's Dragon Sword, one of those other tribal cards. I've heard people say, like, oh, I wouldn't play it in my Dragon deck. I think you play that in your Dragon deck unless it's, like as competitive as it can get. Because if you ever draw a card up, it's just fine. And most people still play Dark Steel. Dark Steel can get on a Command Sphere. And that's probably really close to Command Sphere in Dragon deck.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Speaking of tribal synergies, there's a Dragon Egg.
Nice. I don't know if that synergizes specifically with dragons, but being a dragon is pretty cool. One of those, that's another card that I see a lot of drafters and limited players kind of like not look at as a being a very good card. But right now in limited, there's a sacrifice theme deck. Dragon Egg is normally playable, but in that deck, it's really good. Playable. It's like one of your best cards. Yep. Essentially Windrake with Fire Breathing. which is a powerful card. Windrake is great. You normally play a lot of those if you can.
Just another angel.
Man.
Magistrate. Well, we've got just a few packs left here.
I think we're coming to the end of our 4th box.
That's correct.
And I don't think we've seen the dragon that turns all your defenders into attackers.
No, you're right.
We haven't seen that one. And is there any other dragons we've seen? We've seen Chromium, we've seen a Victus, I think. Oh, we haven't seen Palladium Wars, the one that it's pretty much got all the keywords. I think it's got
keyword soup is missing.
Yeah, and it loses hexproof if you deal combat damage with it.
Yeah.
So we still haven't seen those 2 Elder Dragons. I don't think we've seen Escape Shift either, which is a cool reprint. That card was like $60 before the reprint. Now it's closer to $20.
We did have somebody trade in a pre-release Escape Shift though, so that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I bet you that looks really good. It's got new art.
Oh, yeah.
So new art. I've always been like hit or miss on the new art.
Excuse me. They've done some really good ones.
Yeah.
And I think new art is always an interesting topic because there's so many people that just have that nostalgia factor for the original art kind of thing, you know?
Well, one thing I've noticed about the newer cards is they're printed on different type of card stock.
Yep.
And so that I actually think the new cards feel better.
Okay.
But sometimes those new cards with new art, sometimes the old art just looks better than the new cards. So now it's not just the art anymore. It's like how do the
card stock, how does it feel?
Yeah.
There you go, buddy. Let's get chaotic with that wand.
That is a cool card. I know some people would like to play that in Commander. It is a slow card, but if it does something cool, you'll remember it. That's an interesting legend. I know we've opened a couple of them now. I don't want to butcher the name. Isreth, the Awakener. To me, it seems like a worse version of Alicia who smiles at death, but you can get back more stuff with a bigger mana investment.
We've opened a lot of those metamorphic alterations.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool because you can enchant other people's creatures.
Yeah.
To make them copies of bad creatures.
Yeah.
And I love cards like that in Commander because you can enchant somebody's general, and then all of a sudden their general is like a 1/1 or something like that.
Yep. Alright. Another sword here, keeping things interesting. Tyler's going to run and take care of something real quick. But he'll be back shortly. Open the vault, or open the graves, keeping things interesting. So, what else we got here? Amulet of Safekeeping. I like that there's Reassembling Skeleton back in Standard too. It's not a card that gets played a ton, but it's just an interesting one for me. Another Angel. Keeping it busy with the Angels. Man. We're also looking to be on a pretty good pace here. Maybe a little behind our hour goal, but not by much. So that's a good thing. Yep. More opening of the graves. Mentor of the Meek. I think that's our first Mentor of the Meek, actually. Another reprint. Remorseful Cleric coming back. Had a decent number of those too. Yeah, I don't think there's too many even mythics that we have not opened other than the dragon. Decent number of reliquary towers here. Which I'm actually pretty happy about because that was a card that a lot of people put in Commander decks and was typically a little tricky to get a hold of. So it'd be good to have more of them in the community for sure. Graveyard Marshal coming back. think the second or third one of those that we've gotten. Oh, Tyler, this is your card right here. Foil Vinemare. And we got a Sarkin. So we got that full-on Dragon synergy going. Dismissive Pyromancer. Sorry, our computer was trying to restart itself, so I had to click on a button so it wouldn't do that. Ooh, let's do this. Vivian's. Gutter Snipe's back in this set too. If you build the deck right, it can be dangerous. Almost leads itself to be its own little tribal self, and sealed or limited too if you're just playing a ton of instants and sorceries, dealing your damage that way. Spit Flames. So we're over halfway through this box, and then we got one left. If you are rewatching this, you can always use the faster speed to see the cards roll out quicker. Hey, there's Arcades. Flying Vigilant. Elder Dragon, gotta love him. I thought it was interesting they chose to make him a 3/5. But, yeah. Bone Dragon should be an interesting one. Another one of those Dragon tribal cards that we talked about.
What's that?
And foil. Demanding Dragon.
What's happening, man?
Rurik Armasaur. Another double rare pack here. Vivian's Invocation and Lawlith. Mist Caller comes out of there. Sun Cleaner. Just a few packs left in this one now. Mirror Image. Foil Mirror Image. Not a rare, but interesting card.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry, that was our UPS guy. We were taking care of some business. I heard you opened an Arcades.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I don't know if you talked too much about it, but that card is a pile of text. It does pretty much everything you want in a Defender Tribal Commander deck.
It's pretty nice. Another Liliana.
Yeah. I've actually seen a lot of people wanting to build the Defender Tribal deck because of Arcades specifically.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I
know there's a number of people working on it. At least here in Springfield there are. So
yeah. It's like interesting that they print a card and all of a sudden people in
ooh,
general...
I can do this?
Yeah, they're like, whoa, all these cards open up to be playable now.
Well, and Dorn's been around for a while, so a lot of times it's just that antithesis for people to be like, you know what, I'm going to do it now.
Yeah.
That's an interesting enough card. I'm going to jump on and finally do this. That is the end of box number 5. So we got one box left.
Okay.
We clear those for me, please. One box left, and then just a lot of sorting for us, really. Have we opened all the cards that everybody on there wanted to see? That's the big question.
Yeah, I think Brian was talking about opening some. He wanted to play with Goreclaw.
Goreclaw? Okay.
Which is cool. And then there's some elf tribal cards that I think he's talking about as well.
All right. More prodigious growth.
That Sarkon just looks cool. I don't care what people say. I know it's 3 mana. I know that it just rummages. Is that how you say that word?
Rummagizes.
It does that. I just like it though. I have this like soft spot in my heart for 3 mana planeswalkers. I actually tried to build a Tibalt deck. I was one of those people in Standard, and it's funny. People talk about how bad the Tibalt is, but whenever you play it, they always attack it.
Oh yeah.
So at minimum, it gains you a little bit of life. So it can't be the worst card, right?
Buys you a little time.
Yeah. But more times than not, I have discarded cards that I wanted to keep to that creature. I don't know what that mechanic is called when you draw a card and discard a card, but it's similar to a Burning Inquiry, so maybe you call it like Inquiry or something. And Burning Inquiry is a powerful card. We've seen it a lot in Modern, so maybe there's something there. But let's not talk about it. Amulet of Safekeeping. That's one of those like weird rares they printed in this set that doesn't seem to really like have a place. Obviously, they didn't print it for Standard, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm curious if that was something they wanted to put into the Modern game for some reason, but it doesn't seem. Maybe it is. I don't know Modern as well as you, but maybe it's just not. Maybe it's more efficient than I think it should be.
Well, it seems like they, when Wizards playtest, when their team playtest or something like that, they all play token decks, and so the feedback they get is like, you need all these token hit cards because every color is going to have trouble with tokens. But in practice, it's like it doesn't seem to be that way. Ooh, there's a Windweaver Sphinx. That's actually a reprint.
Yep.
7 mana, 3/7 flyer, and it says whenever a creature with flying attacks, you can draw a card. People often forget that triggers off your opponent's creatures too.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I just forgot.
There you go.
Oh, you got all the dragons? That's fine. I'll just draw cards every time one of your guys attacks.
Yeah. Well, ideally, if they have a flyer that's smaller than your 3/7, they probably won't. But you never know. They might have a combat trick. I don't know what they could have, but
I think if they're swinging at you with Thopters, you just take the one and draw your card.
There actually is some pretty good Thopters. So we've seen one of the legends. I think his name is like Sia, Master Artificer or something. He's an artificer. And whenever you cast an artifact spell, he makes one with Thopter, and then you can pay a blue and a colorless to sack 2 artifacts and draw a card. That's a card that a lot of people have been talking about. Just as like this engine card. He does it all. He makes artifacts. He draws you cards, draws you more artifacts. All you need is mana.
Is that by
literally your artifacts tap for mana. Is that
all you need is mana?
All you need is mana. It's a classic. That's a lot of Lilianas. I think
that's the third one.
So, out of all the planeswalkers in this set, there's Liliana, Vivian, Tezzeret, Sarkon, and then Ajani. And I don't know if we've opened an Ajani yet.
You know what? I don't think we have.
I actually don't think we have seen all the mythics in this set. We've talked about most of them.
I will credit us not opening a Ajani to my bad abilities in terms of pack opening.
Yeah, it's a Palaka Worm. That's interesting. So, in the past, if we had opened Palaka Worm in a different set, we would not put it over here because it was uncommon.
It's a rare now.
It's been shifted up to rare. I think that's actually good because that card in draft is nuts.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to win you the game all the time, but it does a really good job for like your bomb. It kills them because it has trample and it's a big creature. It stabilizes, and if they kill it right away, draw a card. So it's not the worst. It should be a rare. I think it was probably a little too good and uncommon.
I think draft is exactly why that was printed as a rare.
Yeah. You just don't see up shifts in rarity too often.
No, more often than not, it seems like it's a down.
Yep.
But again, with a higher concentration on draft, especially in the last couple of years, they want that set to be completely. What'd I do? Oh, never mind. Got it. Thanks, buddy. Hey, remember how we talked about opening a lot of Lilianas?
Yeah, if people want to play zombies, we got them. So, I don't think I've seen a lot of people talking about Pauper for this set.
No.
I don't know if there is any good Pauper cards, just because I haven't even had a lot of conversations, but I think there is an interesting card, I think named Sovereign's Bite, which I always want a mono black for a deck to be a thing, because I think we also have a cool Pauper card that drains some people for 5, drains the opponent for 5.
Sure.
So anytime I see a potential opportunity there, I'm looking at cards. So Sovereign's Bite could be cool, maybe, for Pauper. Don't know if it's good. Could be. I don't know if you've seen any. You don't play a lot of Pauper, do you, Nick?
Not very often. I mean, my standard decks are usually Pauper, right? That counts.
That does count. There's the Spirit. I don't think we did mention it when we were talking about the tribal synergy, but that's the first one we've seen.
No, we've seen a couple of those.
Oh, my mistake.
We just had more important cards to discuss at the time.
But yeah, I think that this set is pretty cool so far. I'm excited to play standard with some of the cards. I think the set after rotation is gonna people are gonna look at it in a different light.
Yep.
Because we're gonna lose Fumigate, we're gonna lose Glorybringer, we're gonna lose all these cards that are synonymous with the popular decks right now. We'll probably have to use some of the cards from the new
Double
set.
red rare pack.
That's super cool. We've been getting a lot of foils and rares in the same pack. Foil rares in the same pack.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that this is one of those sets that won't see a ton of value until we're post-rotation.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be like, well, these are actually really good cards all of a sudden.
Actually, right now is like the perfect time to buy singles, too, because all the rares are so cheap that you just pick them up now, and if you don't have to pay $5 when you want to buy your rare when it becomes a staple in the standard decks.
Yep.
All right, I think how many packs
Just
do
a
you have
few
left?
packs left. 3 packs left total.
All right, let's see.
And we'll be through the case. Looks like we're going to be just a little bit over an hour. So, not too shabby. But not our best performance.
I think we're doing pretty good, actually. I'm ecstatic with how we performed today. What'd you get?
I like this card.
Cage. I love that art. That guy just does not look. He looks like the least happy Minotaur in the multiverse.
Because he's in a cage. But yeah, that's just a neat one.
And then got to break that rusty cage.
Jeez, stop. And then Arcades back around again. So we got a couple Arcades. Yeah. Oh, you've been looking for that foil the rest? There it is.
I wish they'd print a new art, but that is one of my favorites.
Last card is Demanding Dragon.
All right. So I think that's it for today, Nick.
That is it.
Do you have any last final comments?
If you want to pick up any of the cards that are on the stream here that we opened up, they will be available for pre-sale today at Titan in Springfield. And you can pick them up then on Friday. So if you want some, stop in and get them. We also are still doing pre-orders for boxes. We got some buy a box promos left, so definitely do that as well. And that's all I got. Tyler?
Nick?
It's time to play some cards.
Thanks, Nick. I'm going to go play some cards now.
All right. We'll see y'all later.